we shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control.
It's been said that weather control is taking effect in order to deceive us into believing in climate change. Now we know that weather conditions are drastically changing as of late, and are leading more and more people to believe that it's getting out of control. The thing is, the more they experiment with these abnormal events, the less those who are asleep seem to notice. They pass it off as a coincidence, even when they tell us the truth right to our faces.
Or lease.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The American dream is dead.
We're not just victims in society. We have the power to stand up and fight back. We have the power.
God gave them over to a reprobate mind.
You are responsible before God.
They're preparing the masses of the people for the moment when all of a sudden there is this universal consciousness.
I think most Americans feel that way, but what is still true is that there's still kind of a reptilian side of our brain, reptilian.
We're here today not just to talk about the future of this company. We're here to talk about its destiny. We're here to talk about the end of the world. We stand on the brink of Armageddon, diseases for which we have no cure, fundamentalist states who call for our destruction, nuclear powers over which we have no control. And even if we navigate these dangerous waters, we face other, even more inevitable threats. Global warming will melt the polar ice caps within 80 years, flooding 90% of all habitable areas on Earth. Unchecked population growth will overtake food production in less than 50 years, leading to famine and war. This is not conjecture. This is fact. One way or another, our world is coming to an end. Now the question is, will we end with it?
What do you propose?
I propose that we end the world, but on our terms. An orchestrated apocalypse. An orchestrated apocalypse. One that will cleanse the earth of its population but leave its infrastructure and resources intact. It's been done once before, with great success. It's been done once before, with great success. The chosen few will ride out the storm, not in an ark as in the book of Genesis, but in safety, underground. And when it's over, we will emerge onto a cleansed earth, one that we can then reboot in our image.
And just how do you intend to achieve this?
The means of our salvation are already at hand. I give to you the T-virus.
You know, they were talking about climate change yesterday, and now we're learning that scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. I mean, lasers, really, to change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning.
Go ahead.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, did those really work then? We have some of these capabilities now?
Inconclusive. Even in the 60s, the CIA used this to bring down monsoons during the Vietnam War, to wash out the Viet Cong. We realize that for decades now, these governments have been alleged to have experimented with weather control, but nothing conclusive. This time we're bringing in the laws of physics rather than simply waving our hands and uttering mumbo jumbo. We're actually using trillion-watt lasers now. And in the laboratory, sure enough, they precipitate rain out of water vapor. Sure enough, you can actually bring down electricity down the beam.
So what does it mean for drought areas that need to have rain for crops? And if they don't have them, there's the consequences of famine.
Well, the bad news is if it's a clear blue sky, it's not going to do anything at all because it only takes water vapor that's already in the air and condenses it. However, for floods, for agriculture, farmers, for people planning wedding parties, football games, you name it, outdoor events and agriculture and flooding and even hurricanes, all of them could be subject to weather modification.
We can bring in the oceanic rain, and we need to be conscious it's not about delivering rain on land, it's about nurturing a rain system that can promote agriculture and protect the people involved. So in all cases we want to make sure we don't get flooding, but we can deliver timely rain in a gentle soaking manner into agricultural targets.
Technology relies on a signal that we're able to generate that triggers a response from atmospheric patterns. So we're able to observe this using satellite meteorology, extensively available now to everyone who's got access to broadband internet. But we're able to utilize that signal set in sequence to generate a incremental deviation in the flow path of these oceanic atmospheric rivers. So the source is the ocean, of course. The vapor, precipitable moisture flow is in the atmosphere. The winds drive this with the pressure systems adjusting the path of least resistance. But our technology is able to interface that and hack into it, if you like, and makes micro adjustments to allow deviations to occur in the flow pathways. And this is how we broke the drought in Australia in 2005. This is how we put out the fires of Victoria from Black Saturday in 2009. This is how we delivered rain in the desert in Saudi Arabia in 2007 and snow for the first time in history in 2004 in the United Arab Emirates. There's been other projects above the radar and some under the radar, but today for the first time we're putting our hand up in front of the media to say this is available. We're going to run this project here to break the drought in the Horn of Africa.
The weather makers, otherwise known as the geoengineers, continue to completely disrupt Earth's climate and weather patterns. Ongoing atmospheric aerosol spraying operations are saturating skies all over the world with electrically conductive, heavy metal, and chemical nanoparticles. The unimaginably small nanoparticles that are being sprayed into the atmosphere can and are being manipulated with extremely powerful radio frequency microwave transmissions. The animation being shown is of the NexRad radio frequency microwave transmission facility located near Eureka, California. This transmission was recorded on November 15th, 2017. The effect that the transmissions from this facility can inflict on the incoming flows of precipitation is absolutely undeniable. What is occurring? The microwave transmissions are repelling and scattering the atmospheric particulates, which in turn scatters the condensation nuclei, which in effect scatters and greatly diminishes the precipitation that actually falls within the reach of the transmission signals, or even beyond. The climate engineers can then effectively migrate this moisture to other regions.
Get inside! Holy shit!
Particles, bringing down rain and even lightning.
In what's left of this Boulder Creek neighborhood, the governor's view that this is all somehow related to climate change did seem to strike a chord.
Bernie and Dennis Patrick of Boulder Creek say they believe in miracles after much of their property and backyard henhouse went up in flames, but firefighters saved their home. This was in the midst of absolute devastation in the Fallen Leaf neighborhood. they will never forget the lightning.
And I thought, Lord, what are you doing? What's with the thunder and the lightning? I had no clue that we were going to have massive fires.
But Governor Gavin Newsom, touring the Oroville fire area, says he knows why: climate change.
The debate is over around climate change. Just come to the state of California. Observe it with your own eyes. It's not an intellectual debate. It's not even debatable any longer. I quite literally have no patience for climate change deniers.
Dude, you want to hear what a scumbag liar sounds like? Listen to this nonsense.
I'm out here in 167 right now. Looks like a fire literally just started. I just rolled up on it, and right now it looks like it's going crazy. I'm here with the police. They're talking to me about it. Yeah, I literally pulled right up next to it. I was like, dude, it looks like a fire just started here. Man, it's tinder dry conditions out here. It's crazy. The smallest thing could start a fire. Well, they're talking to me about it because it literally just happened. I didn't ride today yet, man. I rode yesterday and I lost my $1,000 camera out of my backpack, dude. So I've been out here trying to find it.
What a complete lying scumbag. The cops roll up as he's starting a fire, and he's like, oh, I just showed up here looking for my $1,000 camera that I lost yesterday. As he's saying that, a policewoman, I believe, shows up and says, hey, it's kind of strange because yesterday we got a report of someone setting a fire and you were there also. So check this out.
And there she is. Hey.
Dude.
That's my friend.
Why am I seeing you at another fire?
I'm still looking for my damn freaking camera.
It's funny that I'm seeing you at a fire when we got reports that somebody thought you were trying to start.
That's what I told them. And I said the exact same thing. I found a $100 bill in a Walmart parking lot and I turned it in, and the guy gave me half of it when he came and got it.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. I don't know about another fire. I don't know. She was saying that, like I was saying earlier, when I was that way on the freeway, people had been calling me in because they saw me walking along the freeway. They were assuming, I guess, that someone was out there starting fires or something like that. Yeah, I've been unemployed.
So this scumbag right here is a Black Lives Matter agent. Okay, and he's running around starting fires everywhere. If you listen to him rambling and babbling at the police officers, it's clear he's lying. You know what I'm saying? You're on the side of the road, a bunch of cops show up, there's a wildfire, there's a report of a man setting a wildfire. There you are, and you start talking about a $100 bill you found at Walmart that you turned. It's just nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense. This dude right here, this fellow, is who we're referring to when we say large corporate entities like George Soros and others pay these people. And that's a fact. It's funny because you type things like this in and you find debunking websites, those bastions of truth, saying, oh, this isn't accurate. Well, actually, it is.
It just sucked because the way this Corona shit is right now, I don't think it's going to go anywhere, man. I don't see us being able to go to a club again and play music or... It's rough because like people don't have any like outlets anymore. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like abuse happening in homes and stuff like that. And I went through that too with my ex. I wish I could find my damn camera though, man. That's all I really want to do is find my camera and go home and eat. I mean, there's a chance it could have just took a nice little tumble off into the grass, a nice soft landing, But I mean, I typically tend to ride near the line. So I've been up the freeway today probably about 4 or 5 times, all the way up from Puyallup to Bellevue and back, and then like basically doing the whole rounds.
Get out of your car much, or you just trying to?
Just when she contacted me, I was out of the car for probably about 2 hours. I walked about maybe 4 or 5 miles, and like really slowly, like really searching the grassy areas in the middle of the the freeway.
Sure.
Did you find my camera?
No.
No?
I got lots of concerns about why you're here right now, buddy.
Okay, well.
I gotta tell you.
Okay. I told you I was out here today. You saw me out there early this morning.
Disturbingly, police have now arrested 4 people accused of deliberately starting fires.
He claims to be a good Samaritan, phoning police to report this fire.
This is freaking crazy, guys. Holy it's going across the road. Oh my God.
But police say Jeffrey Accord is one of several starting fires in Washington state. The 36-year-old live streaming as first responders arrive.
Why am I seeing you at another fire?
I'm still looking for my damn freaking camera.
It's funny that I'm seeing you at a fire when we got reports that somebody thought you were trying to start.
That's what I told them.
Now to the breaking news out of California, where firefighters are battling hundreds of new wildfires. The fast-moving flames forcing entire towns to evacuate, and now the fires have turned deadly.
This morning, fear and devastation across California.
We've been through a lot of fires in this area. Nothing like this. It was like the entire wall of the forest was just coming at us down the road.
I looked up at the back of my house was on fire. Hundreds of wildfires ravaging the state. The Bay Area, now the hardest hit of all. Thousands in the region woke up in the middle of the night to find all the scenes.
I could see the red glow and I was hearing explosions. You had fire up here and runs over here and everyone's like,
One woman saying she was only able to escape the oncoming flames because of friends called to warn her.
she told me before it came that it was coming, so that helped. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have known in time.
And near Fresno, a helicopter en route for aerial support crashed, killing a pilot and sparking yet another fire. Officials say Thursday that multiple wildfires have now burned into each other, creating massive spans of flames called complexes, including one near Santa Clara. It has burned nearly 100.
My Lucifer is lonely.
Or lease from
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
the American dream is dead.
We're not just victims in society. We have the power to stand up and fight back. We have the power.
God gave them over to a reprobate mind.
You are responsible before God.